Welcome to another episode of Life Coach Code. Today I have some extraordinary news for you, and basically I've got something that you will not want to miss. We are organizing a summit in November. It's called the Superhuman Summit, and it's unlike any summit you've ever been before. Why? Because it's going to be 4-day virtual summit, and it's going to focus on the 4 fundamental pillars of the human being: the spirit, the mind, the body, and the heart. And each day is focused on one of these 4 fundamental pillars. So we are starting with the spirit, and in this day we're going to have coaches that will talk about how to find your purpose, how to raise your consciousness, how to reshape your belief systems. And each topic in each day is designed so it helps you uncover your superpower that's hiding within that pillar. We strongly believe that in each of these 4 pillars there is a hidden superpower, and all of the talks that we gather together are put together in a way to help you become aware of this superpower in each of these 4 pillars, to embrace it and harness it. Why this event is an event that you don't want to miss? Because there will be over 25 experts and coaches, industry leaders that will talk about their topics, and there will be workshops, there will be panels, there will be free gifts that each of the coaches will give to you. And all of this is at the most affordable prices, at a price that's less than one meal. So if you want to transform yourself into a superhuman, and if you want to unleash the full potential that you were born with, then I strongly recommend to get your tickets, to get the 4-day pass and join this summit, join this beautiful experience that we are all putting together, we are creating, and meet the coaches that will transform your life. It's basically, a lot of summits are like you are going and buying a program, but this is not like working with a coach. It's like working with over 25 coaches all at once that are all focused on helping you transform in all of these 4 dimensions of your being, uncover your superpowers, and become the superhuman that you were born to be. So if you want to join this party, and if you want to get your 4-day pass, we will leave links in the description, or you can go to lifecoachcode.com/superhuman summit and get your tickets. Again, it's less than one meal away that your life can be transformed and you can start living more superhuman experience. So this being said, today I have a special guest. One of the coaches actually that will speak on this summit is Wendy Yehia. And Wendy, first of all, I want to introduce you. Wendy is a divine feminine holistic wellness coach, specializing in empowering women to reclaim their divine feminine power with confidence. Through a range of techniques, including Reiki and energy healing, Wendy helps release limiting beliefs, enhance self-awareness and self-love, and boost confidence, guiding you on a transformative journey. Here is Wendy, and today we're going to talk about her topic that is about the gut and the gut health, and why the gut is the second brain. So hello, Wendy, I want to welcome you on this podcast. And how are you?
Thank you very much, Dion, for inviting me to participate in this summit. I'm very honored to be here. It happens to be a topic that I'm very resonating with, the gut health, and I'm looking forward to talking more about it.
Perfect. So let's just jump into it. What is the gut? Why is it called the second brain?
Well, the gut, we have different systems. The body has different systems, and the gut happens to be part of one of those systems. And it's a lot of people are probably hearing a lot about it. It's a topic that's that's pretty popular now. But it's most of our systems are linked to the gut, and the gut is a really important system that affects your overall health. It's basically your microbiome. That's where all your immune system comes from. All the good bacteria, because the gut is filled with bacteria, but good bacteria. And our lifestyle, the foods we eat, toxins in the environment, stress can affect gut health. So, and in this modern age, we tend to eat more processed foods. We don't cook at home as much as we used to. So all of those factors come into play and can make the gut imbalanced.
Okay, so is the gut directly affecting your brain, and is the gut affecting how you think, how you feel, how what kind of energy you have?
Yes, it can. Because if you don't have a healthy gut, you can have inflammation anywhere else in your body, and that can, you know, contribute to brain fog, for example. So it can physically affect your brain. It can like your focus, your energy, your moods. It certainly has it's all connected to the gut as well. So yeah,
So,
so when they say we have we don't just have the brain in our heads, we also have a brain in our gut. So the gut has its own brain and its own system and the way but it affects everything else.
understand. So basically we want to optimize the gut. We want to make the gut be healthy, and we want to make this second brain basically have positive thoughts on its own. So what are your suggestions? What are your maybe what are the main bad things? What are the main problems that we have in today's society and in today's everyday life that we are doing that are harming our gut?
Well, like I said, the foods we eat, we don't eat as much fruits and vegetables as you know, 100 years ago, or our grandparents did. A lot of people don't garden; they don't have a garden. We've become a very busy society, so the foods we eat really makes a big difference. And the soil also, like the soil is also depleted in vital minerals and vitamins also. So that plays a big factor. And it's, yeah, so the foods, our diet is a big factor. So if you make lifestyle changes, good lifestyle changes, and you know, replace your plate with like more plants, eating a more plant-based diet with fruits and vegetables, that can make a big difference in balancing out the gut. Because the gut becomes inflamed, like there's an inflammation in the gut, and that can cause a lot of like the diseases that we see now, like diabetes, IBS, Crohn's. There's a long list of those diseases, and it's all caused with inflammation in the gut.
Understand. So basically the food is the main factor. And what are the worst foods that you can eat for your gut health?
I would say a lot of processed foods, like, you know, junk food, like, you know, chips, pop, you know, just anything that comes in a box, really, because there's preservatives, there's coloring, there's different things that, you know, these foods are made with, and they don't offer any health benefits for the gut. Like I said, replacing it with more plant-based, like proteins, because like the body needs a certain amount of proteins, vitamins, minerals, like it all comes into play. So if you're always eating takeout, for example, and always grease and always cheeseburgers or fries and things like that, over time, like you won't see you won't see it right away, but if you're always doing it, like with time, it causes inflammation in the gut, and then that opens the doors to also illness and things like that. When Another thing is a use of medications and antibiotics that can cause the gut flora to. So the gut flora is basically like a an ecosystem inside your gut. I mean, when we think of the gut, we think of, just the stomach and everything, but the gut microbiome is like kind of surrounded with healthy flora or healthy microbes. And those microbes are what help us build our immune system, like, so that an immune system is very important. But when your gut becomes imbalanced, it affects your immune system. So it affects the way that you're going to, to get over any flus or colds or things like that. So it plays a big role.
Definitely. And if you make, for example, a nutrition plan for some person, are there any foods that there must be included, and are there any foods that must be excluded? I know you said everything that comes into package is bad, probably sugar, processed sugar is bad. And I know that there is a big debate between veganism and carnivore diet and keto diet, paleo diet. There are many diets around. So if you just, in your opinion, if you make the best diet in the world that will aim to make the gut health optimized, so what will be this diet? So if it's up to you to create this diet, what will be this diet?
It would be an inflammatory, anti-inflammatory diet. They say, a lot of experts say the Mediterranean diet is really good because the Mediterranean diet involves a lot of plant-based proteins like lentils, chickpeas, things like that. Also, sauerkraut is also a good. It helps the gut rebuild the flora. And of course, like sugar, pesticides in foods. They use a lot of pesticides on produce right now, like to make the shelf life longer in the markets and the stores. So unhealthy fats also. We eat a lot of unhealthy fats. So that also can negatively affect the gut. So opting for a more plant-based diet with a lot of greens, leafy greens, a lot of plant-based proteins like chickpeas, like I said, it helps restore the gut flora, and a probiotic as well, like a natural probiotic that also helps restore the gut flora.
Would you recommend meat? And if yes, what type of meat?
We all need meat, really. If you're a vegetarian or whatnot, you have to replace that meat that the protein that you get out of meat, you have to replace it with like plant-based protein. One thing is you have to be careful what type of meat that you eat, because most of the meat that we buy in the stores or in the market today are mass produced. So they're boosted with antibiotics, they're boosted with growth hormones, they're boosted with a lot of stuff. So it's best, if you do eat meat, it's best to opt to a more organic type of meat, like, going directly to a farmer that has grass-fed cattle or birds.
So
even fish is very toxic.
Basically, you say to find local farmers and find your food from there because it's the healthiest. In the mass production, in today's society, of course, like companies try to meet the demand of many people at once, and this cannot be done by the natural way. It cannot be done. We need to be fools to think that everything that we buy from supermarkets is natural, because it cannot, first of all, it cannot be produced in such large quantities to satisfy so many people in such short time. This being said, always, in my opinion, the best solution to food and finding your food is to find local people, local farmers, local producers of vegetables, fruits, and get food from them. Eat seasonal foods that come from somebody that or at least where they come from, and at least how they are produced, because this will give you the information whether or not there are unwanted chemicals in this food, or basically they're healthy, as much as we can say they're healthy in today's society. So, okay, Wendy, you said that basically you're voting for the Mediterranean diet, and we all need meat. Maybe fish would be the healthiest version of the meat we consume, but I also think that steak and good farm raised steak from farm raised animals is the solution, the healthiest solution.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So now I want to ask you, what's your diet? Like, are you labeled as any diet, or you're just following your intuition and just eating what you feel it's healthy for you?
I don't follow a set diet or anything like that. I love my meat for sure. I love my steak and I love I try to just eating a balanced diet, really. That's the key. Like, there's no specific diet that will, that will make you healthy. You just have to, use your gut, use your gut literally, I guess, or your gut instinct. So there's no specific diet that I go by. I just try to eat as healthy as I can and not put in too many harmful chemicals in my body as much as I can. But yeah, no, I love my steak and I love my juicy burger, but I try to get my meat from, more a local farmer. And plus, I believe in supporting local, because if you're supporting a local farm, you're also helping your community and you're helping a family survive, versus going to the mass-produced meat, and you don't know where it's coming from. It can come from another country, for all you know.
Yes, and when it comes to local, it's also you're feeding a better system. You're not feeding companies that you have no idea what they do with how they source and how they provide the food, that maybe they're polluting or not. When you're investing in the local people, you know that they are just trying to feed their family and they're having their produce and business to support their family, so you're supporting them. I believe that's the way forward, maybe, for the world, to just focus more on the local and try to avoid as much as we can from the mass productions.
Yeah, because the mass production is that it's, as you mentioned, they mass produce. So I mean, even chickens, they hatch from the chicken and they boost them with growth hormones so that they get bigger, so that they can produce more and more and more. And like that, like especially children that eat this meat, those growth hormones are in their system. So they might grow up with a disease or something, or something might happen down the line. So I find it's really important. It's just that we've been conditioned to believe that, oh, okay, we can go to Walmart and get all of this stuff. It's really cheap, but in the long run, it doesn't offer the best solution to live a healthy lifestyle, at least in my opinion, anyway.
Definitely, I agree 100%. As I said, you cannot expect, if something is mass produced and in large shops, that it comes from a healthy environment, because the environment needs to be forced. It needs to produce as much as possible. And these animals this food is coming from these animals that are just locked, kept just for the food, raised just for the food.
Yeah,
They're not shown any love. They're not shown any life, basically. They're basically just prisoners that are producing food for us. And
yeah,
no matter what you believe in, even if you don't believe that this is affecting the food itself somehow, investing and supporting such system eventually is going to turn around and bite your ass in one way, shape, or form. And
yes,
it's not, I truly believe that it also affects the food in a way, through hormones or through what the animals experience. The food you're eating has certain type of information. This is just my opinion. I'm not claiming that this is true, but I believe that the food you're eating contains the information about the animal itself, and the way
Yes.
you're eating it, and it becomes part of you, and basically you are consuming this lifestyle, you are consuming this imprisonment lifestyle, and you're supporting it, and you're becoming part of it. So I will try to avoid as much as possible supporting such system. And when we are speaking about this, I also believe that the gut itself, as you say, it's ecosystem in itself. I believe that this system itself is a life system, and it has its own rules, its own, if we can say, like characters that are living there, and philosophy, and like maybe even style of, I don't know, perceiving the world, and transferring information. So the more you're feeding this system with information that is more positive and more aligned with nature, I believe that this system that's within you will also function in a similar way. It will also make a system that's more aligned with the principles of nature. So what I'm saying is that if you live your life in a way that's aligned with nature, you're also training your gut and your system and these bacteria inside you to organize themselves in similar systems that are healthy for you. Would you agree with
Yeah,
this?
I do agree with that. It makes perfect sense because if the meat that you're eating from a mass-produced place, well, they obviously have stress also because they're always locked in. So their stress is energy. So that energy goes into the meat or goes into and then you consuming it, it goes inside you. And then like it's a cycle that just repeats itself. So it makes perfect sense.
And yeah, so basically the gut bacteria in your system, they are responsible for I think most of your moods and cognitive performance. So for example, if you feel, as you said, mental fogginess, it's very likely that it comes from your gut and from what you ate. And I know that we eat a lot of foods, and in the moment we eat these foods, we feel great. But it's not really a parameter to base your diet on. Because if you eat a large piece of chocolate right now, you'll feel great. But after 1 hour, after 2 hours, you will not feel that great. Probably your energy will be lower than what you had it. So I believe a better parameter to look at what's good for you and healthy, it's not how you feel in the moment of eating, but how you feel after 1 hour,
Yeah.
2 hour after eating, or maybe one day after eating. So you should always project your what you base your food on one day after or a few hours after you eat something. Would you agree with this?
I do. That's true. It is gratifying, and we live in an instant gratifying society, right? Instant gratification. Yes, that chocolate bar is delicious when you eat it, but like me myself, I am pre-diabetic, and it's been like that ever since I had my kids. I had gestational diabetes, so I have to really watch my sugar intake. And I notice, like, if I have that chocolate bar, as soon as I eat it, I crash. I just want to sleep. So I know, okay, no, no, Wendy, why did you go and eat that chocolate bar? So yeah, you have to make a conscious decision, and it's not something that you just do one day and then the other day you say, oh, okay, no, I'm gonna just go, because like you are gonna crash. It's a lifestyle. It's changing your lifestyle, not just for one day, but it's something that you have to do constantly, 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 constantly. And when you're not used to eating healthy, it is challenging. But once you get into the flow of it, then it just comes like second nature.
So
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the food and where the food comes from, because I really believe that the way, as we said, the animal lives, the way how the food is produced has a direct effect on your gut and gut health. It can be the same type of food, it can be the same type of meat, the same type of vegetable, but the way it is produced, it affects your gut. Can you explain a little bit more about this?
Yeah, I absolutely believe that. But as I said, like, everything is energy. So depending on the environment, for example, like if you have your own garden, for example, or you're raising your own animals, like you have a small farm, you know, you're going to put love into it because, you know, it's kind of like a hobby, and you know, you're right into it, to the nitty gritty. I mean, I grew up on a farm. My father had a farm, and you know, we did chores in it, and you know, you bond with the animal or the tree or the plant, so your energy goes into it. But like, if you're going to the where they mass produce this, that it's not the same. So the energy of it all just isn't the same, and that can affect the produce, or the, because they're all living things. Even plants are living things, living, breathing things, and they can feel, apparently.
Yes, I agree. I think there was a study done on plants. The plants are also feeling, and they sense when they're in harm, and also plants around them sense when some plant is in harm, and they communicate in a different type of frequency. I believe they measured some vibration that was coming out of them, and it changes depending on the plants around them. If one plant was harmed, then the vibration changes, so it means that somehow they are aware and somehow they know what's happening. And like everything in nature, everything is connected and everything has consciousness. People believed in this in the past, and people still believe in this. And that's basically the truth. We all know it deep inside that animals can feel, animals are aware, animals have consciousness, plants have consciousness, and this consciousness is ingrained in their body. It's ingrained in the food we eat. So the type
In
of
the DNA.
consciousness you are consuming matters, right? It makes sense. So I also know, and we need to be aware that we evolved in a certain way, that we need meat, we need certain foods, we need to be these. Animals need meat too. There are animals that are carnivores, of course, and they will go and murder another animal without feeling sorry, right, when they're hungry. But animals never mass produce. Animals never kill for the sake of hating something. They always do it when they're hungry for food, and if they feel threatened.
For survival. It's for their survival, their instinct.
For survival, of course, and because they need the meat, they need what that meat has. And nature is like this. Nature is like we need certain types of chemicals, we need certain types of foods so we can live. It is what it is. But there are ways to do it in a more humane way. As you said, you can live with animals, you can give them life, you can give them happiness, and you can make them live first. And then when you need it, you can kill them and use their meat only when you need it, and only for the survival. Because it is what it is. You need the meat, and you need to feed yourself and to survive. Just like an animal in the wilderness, just like a tiger will kill a gazelle and it will feed on it, in the same way, you are the same animal, but you have consciousness, and you can do this in a more humane way, where the animal is not tortured, where the animal is not feeling fear, where the animal is not living in prison, where you actually give the animal a better life than what it would have if it's free in nature. So
absolutely.
I believe this is the key to living, to producing healthier food, and to being aligned with nature and what we bring to the table. Because I believe we as humans are bringing more love to the table. We are the only species that have hospitals for animals. Animals don't have hospitals for humans, right? We are the only species that help animals, that have organizations that help animals. We are the only species that are obsessed with the well-being of animals. Animals don't really care about the well-being of humans. They just live and coexist with us. They love us in certain ways when they're our pets, but they don't go out of their own way, natural way, to help us in any way, shape, or form. We are the ones that do this. That's why it's our responsibility to find a better way to source our meat, to find a better way to raise these animals. Because we started this journey, we started this party, we started this song to be the kind ones in nature. So it's our responsibility to continue this process and to find ways. And there are ways. We cannot say there are not ways. There are ways to make your food, to produce your food, to source your food in a more humane way.
Absolutely. Yeah, and more people. I think since the pandemic, a lot of people are also, the cost of food is on the rise. So it's, very expensive to buy from the markets and stuff like that. So a lot more people, I find, are going back to the traditional way of doing things and starting to raise their own animals and their produce. They're starting to garden more, and I mean, and just that, like just having your hands in dirt, it also helps boost your gut and your microbiome, because you need these. We live in this society of what is it called? The hand sanitizer. People have become so scared of germs, but we need these germs. We need them. Our gut needs them in order to be able to, to be healthy as well. So, all those hand sanitizers and, having to wash your hands like 25 times, we're raising our kids to be scared of germs as well. But me, I've always left my kids, if you want to make mud cakes and you want to eat mud, go right ahead. It's good for you. And there is a study also that children that have been raised on farms are actually healthier than children that have not.
I know this for a fact because I rarely that I wash my hands with soap. I was doing this even during COVID time, and I was not getting ill. I was not getting sick because I believe, and the society I come from, like it's a common belief that the more you protect yourself, the more you are sanitizing yourself or making yourself clean, sterile, the more your body is becoming weak, because you are not allowing it to have a chance to deal with this bacteria, to become aware of them and to find a way to coexist with them. The more you are allowing your body to, as you say, be in soil, like play with dirt and have this bacteria in your hands and have them in your system, the more your body will find ways to cooperate, to work with this bacteria and to still maintain its health. And this is training for the body. So when something comes, when some new bacteria or new virus comes and it affects you, your body has already trained how to manage with new things, how to deal with new things, how to find its way to balance no matter what external factors are affecting it. So I believe this training, taking away this training out of our bodies, is the same as you not being active and not living an active lifestyle, not going to the gym, not exercising. It's the same thing. You will just get more fatter, your muscles will become weaker, your body will become weaker, and it's the same with the biology, the same with the bacteria and your body's health. The more you're putting your body away from this bacteria, the more you're taking its opportunity to train and grow and become stronger to deal with other bacteria. So
absolutely,
I believe this is the key thing that we're taking away from the modern society. We're becoming just more and more sterile, and we're not allowing ourselves to really get stronger, to get our immune system stronger, because that's how our immune system trains.
It does, and it's all affected. It all affects our gut and our health and everything else. Because like I said, like earlier, like the microbiome, it's part of our DNA. Our microbiome influences our weight, our sleep, our mood, our cognitive function, and our overall health. And we're born with that. When a baby is born, the number of good bacteria and all that, like they are born with a healthy gut, basically. They are born with all the floras and all the good guys. But like again, the food the child eats, and if the child is not allowed to dirty their hands or play in the dirt or play outside in the sun, it 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 makes a big difference.
You're a mother to 4 children, right? Am I?
I am, yes.
And I want to ask you, how important is natural birth for the children's microbiome?
They say that a natural birth is going through the birth canal. It has some of that good bacteria in there. So they also say that a lot, and there's a lot of more C-sections nowadays. A lot of doctors opt for C-sections more. And that can also affect the baby's gut health or flora or microbiome.
Because the baby is not introduced with the mother's microbiome.
Yeah.
Correct. So basically, as I said, I'm going to come back to the conversation. We're designing a world that's so much sterile, that's so much safe from any bacteria, that we are just harming ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And doctors go more for C-sections because of the fear of the complication of natural birth, right? And there are systems in hospitals that are optimized to just maximize efficiency instead of maximizing real health. So even if there is a statistic that out of 1,000 people of natural birth, one is fatal, they will, like, I'm just speculating, I don't know the statistics, I'm just saying, if there is a statistics of 1,000 people in 1,000 that one person dies of natural birth, the hospitals will try to optimize C-sections, neglecting the 999 people that were born naturally and that they're healthy because of the natural birth, that their immune system is much healthier than people born with a C-section. So this is the problem with making systems that are working for the mass society, because whenever there is a mass society, there will always be cases where the natural way of life is harmful to some people. And we're trying to get away of this potential harm. We will design a system that's so much away from the natural life that this system in itself will be more harm to all of us.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I want to ask you, if you can change one thing in today's society, what will it be? Of course, focused on improving the gut health.
Well, just change starts with you. You might have a chronic illness or a disease or whatever, but the disease or the chronic illness can be healed. It can be healed naturally. God has made a pharmacy made for us to use, but we've forgotten about it. So there is a natural cure for every illness that there is in this world. You just have to make the changes. You have to be the change. You have to make the necessary changes. It's not going to change on its own, right? So and we're creatures of habit. So if you're not living a healthy lifestyle, well, I think maybe it's time for you to start looking at it, or start to get interested in it, because I mean, it won't change. Your health won't change unless you make a change, unless you do something and take action.
Definitely. So let's like sum up all the negative factors we talked about till now. So first of all, let's say a kid is born. They're born with a C-section. From the start, they don't get the flora, the microbiome from the mothers. Their immune system is getting weaker. As they live their life, they're always protected from the bacteria. Whenever they play in sand, whenever they play with earth, their hands are cleaned with chemicals, and their home is cleaned with chemicals, so they're never just in touch with the nature and basically the bacteria from nature. So just because of this, their immune system is not getting the opportunity to train itself to get stronger. Then they're getting foods that are mass produced, that are chemically altered, that are infused with hormones, with antibiotics, and all of this affects their microbiome itself. Then as they grow old, and because they have weak immune system, they get sick, so they get even pills to heal their sickness, and they're living a life filled with stress, rushed life. If that they need to live like robots, they need to go to school, then they get to work, then there is stress from work, stress at home, paying bills, and all of this also affect your microbiome. They affect your health, they affect your sleep, and also your eating habits. So all of this is contributing, of course, to you having some disease, to maybe you becoming like a diabetic, maybe you getting some immune disorder or autoimmune disease. All of these factors, I believe, are contributing to this, and we are blaming the autoimmune disease, we are blaming our genetics, while actually we are making so much harm to the way we live, to our bodies, that it's impossible for our body to remain healthy living this way, because from the start we started in the wrong way, away from nature. Am I close here to what I tried to sum up? Or
Yep, that's you really on point, because there is like our connection to nature and the natural world has been severed. It has been severed in many ways, you know, in the way we live, the way we do things, the way the modern society goes. Because yes, like all we are is like we've been taught like, okay, you have to go to school now, get up, go to school, like do the work, do this, do that. It's kind of like teaching our kids to become kind of like slaves of the system, and then the cycle just repeats itself. So there has been it's been severed. Like even the spiritual connection has been severed. So yeah, so all of that comes into play, and all of that makes a big difference.
exactly, and basically the only way forward is to align ourselves with nature again, right? To find ways to live more aligned with nature, to see how we are part of nature, and how not living according to the principles of nature is actually doing more harm to us. Because how I'm seeing it is like we've created this mechanism, and now here is nature, and we escape nature and enter this mechanism, and now we're clogs in this mechanism, and we need to make it work, but we are not made for this mechanism. We are not made from this mechanism. We are not able to live in this way, because we will become something else, not humans. Humans were born in nature, from nature. So maybe that's why the modern world, and I'm just like brainstorming here, maybe that's why we're just inventing robots and we're inventing AI to become just more infused with this machine that we created, that we call society.
Yeah, this matrix, or this, yeah, absolutely. Me, to be honest, like ever since this AI, I don't resonate with AI at all. I don't use it, and I don't resonate with it. But like for example, if I go to Walmart, they want me to use the self checkout, but me, I'm gonna go, and I'll go where there's a teller, an actual person, human, uh, that I can talk to and say, hi, how are you? Then just go and check out. Yeah, I have a hard time with that.
Me too, to be honest. I really have hard time with, like, I love automation, like when it comes to something online, like to automate things, it releases a lot of your time, and you can use this time for other better things. But I'm completely against automation of human things, like
Yeah.
automation of how we produce food, automation of how we keep animals, automation of how we do, even as you said, the checkup. It's automatic, people are not there. Then you go to restaurant, there is a robot making your food, or you go to a bar and there is a robot preparing your drinks. So all of these things, I believe, are, first of all, we can speculate they're natural, because we are so much focused on this machine way of living that they naturally arise from us. Or you can say they are designed for control, with some few people that are brainstorming behind curtains, and they're inventing things and the way society will work just to make us more enslaved. Because when you take away the human factor from society, then you just will create rules, and these robots will obey the rules, and there will be no exception. Because as we know, when, for example, COVID was happening and the pandemic, we needed to wear masks to enter somewhere. There were a lot of security guards that will just allow you to enter because they're human. They understand that it's not really protecting you much. So,
Yeah.
but when there is a robot and it's programmed to not allow you if you don't wear a mask, this cannot be escaped. It cannot be bypassed. So if we just remain the human, we remove the human factor and we allow robots basically and artificial intelligence to control this machine we've created already, we call society, then it's much easier to control humans inside of it, right? So I don't know. I cannot say for sure if it's intentional or if it's just a natural way that we, just because we are living as robots, it's naturally for us to invent robots and try to become more like robots. So what's your opinion on this?
Well, again, I can't see myself living in a world ruled by robots. I can't. Like humans will always be there. They can't, they can't be eradicated completely. We need the human connection, and that's what makes us human. Because if you push more to the to the machine or the robot, that takes away like the human, then there won't be any more humans if we focus on that. So yeah, so that being human is a gift. That's what we're a gift. It's a gift that's given to us by our creator to live and experience. Our life is an experience. It comes with challenges, it comes with lessons, it comes with that. And for some, the lessons are very hard, but it's again a lesson that we're learning. So it's all connected. So remove the human factor, what do we have? There's nothing.
Exactly.
Like life ends. Life is finished if there's no more.
Do you believe that if humans are taken away from the world will be better or worse for other species?
I think it will be, well, I can't say it would be worse, but as a human, it would not be a good thing.
Of course, we would not like to be erased from the world as obviously as possible. So I want to ask you, what inspired you to start on this journey to become a coach, to just start helping people and get into the microbiome and the gut health?
Well, it's been a lifelong journey, really. I've always questioned a lot of things about society and this modern world we live in, but I didn't really know my place or why I was here. And by going through my challenges, I suffered postpartum depression when I had my firstborn daughter, and that plummeted me in a very dark abyss for quite a few years. But it also allowed me to learn what my strengths are and to overcome them. And I've always loved to help people. I've always had this energy where I can be at the grocery checkout and the person behind me will just start talking to me about their problems, for example. Like, I don't know, and I get that a lot from people. People tend to message me and say, "Oh, you don't know me, but I saw your profile and I saw your post, or and you seem like such a nice person, and I thought I feel like I can open up to you." So I think I always was a coach, but I just didn't realize it at the time. It's only the past, I'd say 2-3 years that I can say that I actually dove into that. And a lot of people need help. And I believe that my purpose on this earth right now is to be a guide, is to guide humanity to get through their challenges and to align to who they truly are, and to be in a better world. So that's basically why I chose to become an online coach. The online is great that way because I can reach more people, and the more people that I can reach, the better. So if I can help the collective, then I'm doing my job.
This is the good thing about technology, but there is always a way, I believe, to find a way to to just integrate technology and nature together so we can live according to the principles of nature, but also use the technologies we have created. There is,
to our advantage,
of
yes.
course, a way, and I believe we will find it as humans. So I'm maybe optimistic, but I really do believe that there is a way and that we can find it. And then the future of the world is where we live aligned with nature, but also using the technologies we have created. And
yeah, a balance between both.
Definitely a balance between both, because it's not that technology is bad in itself. It's overuse of technology replacing humans that's bad. But technology in itself, we were having technologies even when we lived in caves. Making a spear from a stone is a way of technology, right? Is a technology. It's making a weapon to kill easier, so you can eat, so you can survive. So we were, part of us as humans was always technology. It's just we were developing in a different way. Now we're developing it in a different way with computers and internet, and now AI. All of these things are threat to us, to humans, because if we are not the most intelligent beings on this planet, then what is our role, right? Why are we here? What are we gonna do? But the thing is, I believe that we can find a way, because we produce these things. They didn't come from anywhere. I believe this is the natural evolution of humans, to do these things, to produce these things, because these things will help us from another way, as nature helped us in another way. And both of them can be in a way like our mother and father, and guide us to develop into our full potential.
I agree. Yeah, that there just needs to be a balance. That's all. Like, you can still be human and go into the natural world, and while using technology, for example. Like, you can be sitting in nature and having a Zoom call, for example, with I could with you, for example. So yeah, so it's great. Technology is great in that sense, where it helps us connect more with more people.
Definitely. And you are practicing, you're gonna practice, actually, you're practicing Tai Chi and Qigong, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about what is the philosophy of Qigong?
Qigong is or Qigong. I
Qigong,
always say Qigong.
Qigong,
It's
sorry.
Qigong, but I think there's different ways to say it. Uh, so yeah, so Qigong it's all about the energy. It's like we all have qi, and it's all about balancing out that energy that's inside our body to balance out the other, and it's also linked to the chakras, like all our chakras and things like that. So the chi is found in the stomach. They call it the dantian, and it's like in the solar plexus area, so which is like the stomach area.
Which
So
is
that's where
connected to the gut, right?
yeah. So that's where it's like a triangle. It's like below, a little bit below your belly button, but it's in that area. That's where your life force or your chi comes from.
Isn't it
So yeah,
interesting
that's
that
really interesting. It is probably linked to the gut also.
yeah, isn't it
Yeah.
interesting that it's really it's called the life energy, and it's coming from the area where your gut is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's and it can help relax you, like if you're stressed or things like that. And it is a movement. Like qigong is more like you do it standing. It's like tai chi, you're more like moving. It's like a dance. It's like a dance.
So more
But in a sense, for tai chi, you can, if you do the movements fast, you can actually defend yourself. So it's a form of self-defense as well. When you see somebody practicing tai chi, like you wouldn't even think that it could, the person could defend themselves. But with the moves, if you do them in a fast way, like karate, for example, like you could actually hurt somebody. So it was invented to balance out all our energies and boost our immune systems and things like that. But it can also be used in that sense as well. So qigong, I discovered it about 7 years ago, actually, when I was pregnant with my baby daughter, my youngest, I was about 6, 7 months pregnant, and I decided to sign up for a Tai Chi class. I just felt called to it. I had heard about it and I wanted to try it out. And when I got to the class, it was a class like the people taking the class were more like elderly. They were more older. And when they saw me with this big, huge belly, and they were like, I was like, oh wow, you're when are you due and all that, like, so. But and I did the classes because it's perfectly safe. It's actually good. It helps. It helps flexibility. It helps a lot of stuff. So, and when I did this, like I could feel that she was calm and she was. It affected her inside me as well when as I was practicing it. So and the qigong part of it, uh, usually like if you're going on it for a Tai Chi class, they'll do qigong before, like kind of like to balance out anything or like to do a little bit of stretching like before you start the Tai Chi. But it can be practiced by themselves, like they're two separate modalities. So so yeah, so and the qigong it's amazing what it does. I'll be at the summit. I'll be doing a demonstration on how to do a qigong routine.
You have a workshop about Qigong, right? Qigong for
Yes.
beginners. So I'm pretty excited to actually see you in the summit and just practice this with you because I'm also beginner and I want to practice all my life. Basically, I don't know why I didn't start it. I want to practice Tai Chi and Qigong, and I'm all interested in this philosophy about Chi energy. So it will be an honor and a pleasure to have this workshop with you.
It will be amazing. I can't wait. I really I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. I'm so excited about about this. I've always wanted to speak to people, to a lot of people, and again, like my mission is to help as many people as I can and live a healthy lifestyle. So this will give me the opportunity to do that, and I'm very grateful to you for inviting me to be part of this summit coming up.
It's an honor, and tell us a little bit about your topic. Your topic is going to be about the gut health and how to optimize the gut health, right?
Yes, the gut brain connection, and I'll be going. What I talked about today was just a little tidbit, but I'll be going I'll be diving deeper in the topic, and I'll be talking about probably the vagus nerve and how trauma and all that, how all of that is can also be linked to poor gut health, stress, trauma, all that stuff. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
Me too. I'm super excited for the summit, and I want to again invite all of people who are watching to, if they want to get their 4-day pass, each day is focused on one of the 4 fundamental pillars: the spirit, the mind, the body, and the heart. You, Wendy, you're talking on the day of the body. It's going to be the 13th of November. And I want to invite everybody who wants to be part of this summit to get their tickets from the link below or go to lifecoachcode.com/superhuman summit and get their tickets. It's cheaper than one meal, and the information that we're going to share inside, it's information that you really cannot find anywhere else on the internet. So it's really exclusive, and it comes from thought leaders like yourself, Wendy, and like industry experts and people who actually are working closely with the topics that they want to talk about. And all of the topics in each day are designed in a way to help you uncover more of the superpower, the hidden superpower that's in that pillar. So for the body, we are not gonna reveal right now what's the superpower, but your talk is a clue of what this superpower will be. The gut health and everything we talk today on this podcast is a clue of what your body's superpower will be. So if you want to discover it, go get your 4-day pass. Again, on the link below or on lifecoachcode.com/superhuman summit. So for the end, would you like to say something about yourself, Wendy? Where can people find you? Or maybe you want to just ask them something.
Hey, well, for those of you who want to know where to find me and things like that, I can always share. I have a LinkedIn. I'm everywhere on social media, so I have a lot of links and I have a lot of I don't have a website yet, but I'm working on it. It's just not published yet, but I do have a LinkedIn, not a LinkedIn, but a Linktree link that can, you can find me on Facebook. I have a group, an amazing group of for women called Unleash Your Inner Goddess Coaching. You can find that on Facebook as well. I'm on Instagram, but if I can always send you my my Linktree link if you want to post it under here or in for this podcast.
Definitely, we're gonna post your Linktree link, and in this Linktree link, people can find all the places that they can get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much again, Wendy, for having this podcast with me first. Second, for being part of the Superhuman Summit. I'm honored, and I'm excited to hear your talk and also to be on your workshop. Your workshop will be Qigong for beginners, and your talk will be about the gut-brain connection and why it's called the second brain and how to optimize its health. So thank you again for being part of this summit, of this journey. Thank you for coming on this podcast. For everybody that's watching, again, if you want to get your 4-day pass, you can get it on the link below or on lifecoachcode.com/superhuman summit. Thank you for
you don't want to miss this, guys. You really don't want to miss this. It's going to be an amazing.
Exactly. You don't want to miss this, because honestly, I will not want to miss this. If I'm a person that's not organizing this, I will literally kill for a ticket for this summit, because I know all the experts that are being in it, and I know how it's designed, and I know that the value it will provide is way, 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 way over the price of the summit. So it's really a bargain, and we are basically inviting you to change your life and become a superhuman. I realize this, that we cannot transform ourselves by ourselves. We need people to guide us. So that's why we brought over 25 experts to guide you to become a superhuman. Thank you for watching again. Thank you, Wendy, for being part of this podcast.
Thank you so much.
And see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.